To the gentlewoman from Colorado, Ms. Petterson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome back, Chairman Gensler. I can't believe it's already been 6 months. Time flies when you're having fun. Doesn't feel very fun this week, though. I just want to thank you for your time today and expertise. I know you've discussed this at length today, and it's been a big focus in all of the areas of the key functions that our agencies play in helping support and advocate for our constituents. And, Ranking Member Waters touched on the real harm that a government shutdown would do specifically to your agency. And should there be a government shutdown, only around 400 employees will be retained to maintain minimal functions, with nearly 4,200 employees being furloughed. The bare-bones staff that will remain working during a shutdown cannot perform all the responsibilities adequately. And you've spent time discussing a number of the functions that the SEC will not be able to manage, like protecting Americans from fraud, allowing investors to access our capital markets, and conducting investor outreach and education, among other important roles of your agency. And it is deeply concerning for me with the long-term implications of the chaos and dysfunction here in Washington and the perception globally around what role the United States is going to play in and if we are a market that people should continue to invest in and the real concerns out there. And so in your opinion, how do you think that the government shutdown will impact America's capital markets and the global standard that the global gold standard that we have always had?
In the short term, there's a risk that we, the government's important market regulator, don't have the resources to oversee the markets, whether it's a day, whether it's a month, whatever it is. In the longer term, it's just the confidence in our capital markets and our confidence in our system of fiscal, deciding the fiscal choices that Congress and the administration does. And we see that those challenges in terms of investors around the globe. We're 40% of the world's capital markets. We're only 23% of the world's economy. So that's a good thing. We're punching above our weight class, so to speak. That's a good thing. But the confidence in our system can be shaken as well.
And we saw that with the recent, not actually coming to an agreement and potentially going off a fiscal cliff. Even though that didn't happen, we know that we were downgraded with one bureau. There's going to be long-term economic consequences. But we know that there's billions of dollars of damage because for the first time, people are questioning whether or not the United States will pay their bills. And so these things, these political games have long-term risks. So I want to spend the rest of my time, this is an area that I know you have a background in, and it's going to be absolutely essential that we're working in partnership to address the challenges the opportunities and challenges that AI poses for this country, and specifically for our financial system. And in the morning of May 22nd this year, an AI-generated image of an explosion near the Pentagon spread widely throughout social media. Immediately, the stock market dipped, and we saw a significant decline. We were able to recover when we were able to confirm that was in fact fake. But we know that these are challenges that we're going to have to address together. And Mr. Chair, I'd like to enter the Bloomberg News article, How Fake AI Photo of a Pentagon Blast Went Viral and Briefly Spooked Stocks, into the record.
Without objection.
And so AI has the potential to significantly impact our financial system and our capital markets and our banking system. And this needs to be addressed at every level on how we can mitigate against some of the negative consequences. I'm proud to be joining my colleague and friend in introducing a bill to examine how artificial intelligence will impact the financial sector and how we need to regulate this. So I want to hear from you, though, on what we can be doing, what you recommend that we do to address the challenges that AI poses in the future.
One is, I think it's great opportunities. It's probably going to drive productivity and so forth. But in the financial sector, I do think that there's risk of deep fakes. Look, fraud is fraud. Even if you're using artificial intelligence, there's usually some human behind it. But that's a real challenge to focus on.
All right, I yield back. Thank you.
Gentlelady yields